First and foremost, I suggest the most important thing is facing facts, and by American policymakers have got to look at the world as it is, face the facts, and make decisions based on this, not on some dynamic that was created by British colonialists, or a dynamic that was even created during the Cold War. And that, perhaps the most important of those facing facts, and the hardest that's been, is that Pakistan is not a friend of the United States, and it is not a friend of those who believe in peace and prosperity for the people of the world and freedom for the people of the world. That's the most important fact we've got to learn if we're going to bring peace to a whole region of the world that's in turmoil. And unfortunately, it's been American money and American support for a vicious, murderous gangster regime in Pakistan that has kept this violence and this horrendous reality as part of the lives of so many millions of people who live in South Asia. So that's the first thing that we've got to do, and that means that we've got to finally stop realizing that the ISI is a major command force and force of direction and supply for radical Islam throughout the world. So first and foremost, we have to quit giving any military aid. I would suggest we should quit giving any aid to Pakistan, who then uses our aid to murder people and to suppress people like the Baluch people who are longing to just have basic freedoms that have been denied them. Somebody maybe in this building, 150 years ago, made some decision about where the lines were going to be drawn down in South Asia with, oh yeah, well the Baluch don't count, we can divide them, and etc. We do not have to we do not have to honor those boundaries. We must honor the principles that God gave rights to every individual. People forget to read the Declaration of Independence sometimes. I hope you've read the Declaration of Independence. It talks about why every people have a right, given by God, to direct their own course through the ballot box and to be free and independent. But then it describes why we as Americans were fighting back in 1776. Go ahead and read it. The same things are now. There's a list of atrocities being committed by the British Crown upon the American people. Well, it's the very same atrocities, only more are being committed by Pakistan against the people of Baluchistan today. So if we're going to be true to our ideals, it means being, first and foremost, when we have people like the Baluch, you get behind them, and the people of Afghanistan, and get behind them and say, look, we're going to try to find peaceful solutions to your problem, but if they start killing and dumping bodies all over your country, you can bet we're going your side and not on the side of the murderers and gangsters. So we've got to try to find a peaceful method, and the peaceful method is this. Let's demand a referendum. Let's demand, and if the Pakistanis who keep saying, oh, the Baluch people really want to be part of Pakistan, they love us, that's why we're killing their children, so they'll make sure they love us. Now, the fact is that the people of Baluchistan, the best way to end this is not through more killing. Let's try to reason together. And it just basically says the people of Baluchistan have a right to control their destinies through the ballot box, and we support a referendum for them to decide whether to stay part of Pakistan or not. Let us good guys side with those who are being oppressed. We should always, as a matter of principle, support those who are oppressed or are struggling for freedom and oppose their oppressor, rather than trying to make short-term profit deals, as some people in our country like to do. Go up and make short-term profit with these gangsters or murdering other human beings. And that's not the American way, and I can assure you the American people, many of us still have that spark, that love of freedom that is supposed to be the essence of our country. So, but the other essence of our country, by the way, is that we come from every ethnic background. There's every race and every religion in our country. What unites us, hopefully, the only thing that can unite us is if we stay true to those principles. So thank you all very much, and we are with you. I think it's important that you now have a great asset, and that's number one, I'm the chairman of the Euro-Asian Subcommittee. That's number one asset. Number two, there's a fellow who's going to meet us in a few moments, Judge Poe, who is a congressman, and now is the chairman of the Terrorism Subcommittee. And number three, we have Ed Royce, who is the chairman of the full Foreign Affairs Committee, all of whom know about you and know about your plight and are not going to forget you. I would suggest the next step is make sure that we have congressional hearings on the human rights abuses in Baluchistan to follow up on the ones we had last year. But should end the hearings with a call, and Judge Poe and the others can help us on this, with a call for declaring those people who are committing these crimes, the Pakistani leadership and the ISI who are committing these crimes, declare them war criminals and ask that they be prosecuted. So